It is Saturday, November 30th, and you're looking at Edmonton from our Sky Tracker camera atop Manulife Place. Kevin O'Connell will have weather, but first, here's what else is making headlines.
Today on Global News Morning.
A shock to nurses in our province, why hundreds will be laid off over the next 3 years. And moving on, after a week of controversy, the Calgary Flames head coach is out. What it means for the team and Bill Peters. And if you're pining for a fresh Christmas tree, you better get shopping early. Why suppliers say there's a shortage around town.
You're watching Global Edmonton. This is Global News Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is it. New team here over
New team. Did you get enough coffee this morning?
I got enough coffee. I'll be drinking it a lot throughout the morning.
How was that whole getting up thing this morning?
It wasn't too bad. I think I'll probably hit a wall a little bit later, but I don't mind it. It's not as hard as I thought. It was exciting.
That's what the afternoon nap is for.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to find that rhythm, which you will.
Yes.
I'm sure. Welcome. Of course, Lisa MacGregor joins us for her first time this morning, so very lovely to have you here.
Thank you so much. I've been so excited and so pumped to join you. And actually, I got us a little something as like a friendship gift moving forward.
I love gifts.
And speaking of coffee, so I remember you were telling me that you lost your mug that you had for 12 years. So I got us a little each mug, and it's kind of Inception style. Look into this. So there it says Kevin's mug, and it says Lisa's mug. And on it is a picture of each of us holding.
That will now be our new favorite.
Holding a mug of each other.
See, so that's.
See, look right down
Lisa's
below.
mug.
And look down below. There's your face.
Oh, wow.
Right there.
That's so cool.
And then if you look down here, there you go.
That's
it's kind
your
of a little Inception style. So now we have.
Oh, I'll be
now
afraid
we're
to
bonded.
use it. It's so lovely.
I know. Now we're bonded through some coffee in the morning. So when we're not working together.
That's the new coffee and Bailey's mug.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I should have put some in this morning, get it started off right.
You never know.
What's going on weather-wise? How are you looking?
It's cold start to the morning.
Yes,
We got a couple of cold days on the way. Clear and cold coming up. Today we'll see -9 for the daytime high. Decreasing cloud. I'm taking my mug with me. Decreasing cloud as the day goes on today. Northwest winds around 15 kilometers an hour. So watch for wind chills in the mid-teen range or so. We'll have the details on the rest of the extended forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Thanks so much, Kevin. Provincial workers on edge this morning as they brace for layoffs. The province is planning to lay off hundreds of nurses over the next 3 years. Alberta Health Services delivered a letter outlining their plans to find cost savings. Provincial Affairs reporter Tom Vernon has the details.
It was a key campaign commitment, the public health guarantee. Premier Jason Kenney promised to maintain or increase health spending and focus on frontline services. Less than a year later, Alberta's nurses say the UCP is breaking that promise.
They are undertaking fairly massive job loss affecting our bargaining unit.
Heather Smith says nurses were given the news during a meeting with Alberta Health Services. A letter from Raylene Fitz, the lead negotiator from AHS, says Alberta's growing and aging population is taking its toll. This places increased demand on our healthcare services, and it means we have to do things differently in order to provide safe, effective, and high-quality care for Albertans, the letter reads. Total full-time equivalents impacted over the next 3 years is estimated to be 500. 500
FTEs, full-time equivalents, would translate into probably about 750 or more people.
AHS lists other ideas like contracting out home care and closing acute care beds as long-term care beds open. The NDP says the Premier mentioned none of this to Albertans during the election.
He promised that he would support and protect Alberta's frontline services when it came to healthcare, so he lied.
The UCP government says it has been clear that spending restraint and innovation are necessary, and they're just being transparent with organized labor. Despite spending far more per capita on services than other large provinces, our outcomes are no better and often worse, Finance Minister Travis Toews said in a statement. This means that some difficult but necessary decisions are required to ensure available funding is directed to the frontline services Albertans need most.
I expect they will move very, very quickly.
Smith worries Alberta will lose a generation of nurses, and it will be patients who pay the price. Tom Vernon, Global News.
The new elections commissioner and chief officer speaking publicly for the first time since the old one was fired. Glenn Ressler appeared before a government committee Friday to discuss Elections Alberta's budget. The UCP government passed Bill 22 last week, firing Lauren Gibson from the position. Ressler says materials linked to the ongoing investigation are still intact.
Nothing has changed as a result of Bill 22. The Commissioner's office and staff remain in place. The records are still in the custody of the office.
The UCP government says merging the offices will save taxpayers $1 million over 5 years. Federal Conservative leader Andrew Scheer vowing to stay on despite growing calls for him to step aside. Scheer addressed provincial Conservatives last night in Calgary as they gathered for the UCP annual general meeting. Michael King has more.
The United Conservative Party annual meeting is underway. While the weekend will be focused on fine-tuning the party's platform, Friday night's event was all about the Federal Conservative Party. Leader Andrew Scheer took to the stage and gave a campaign-style speech. Scheer reinforced his plans to stay on as leader despite the recent push from some in his own party to step aside. He says a fractured Federal Conservative Party would guarantee a Liberal win next election.
And if we take the bait and start fighting amongst ourselves now, we are handing them the ultimate victory. That is why we must stay together. That is why we must stay united, ladies and gentlemen.
Now that the party has heard from Scheer, UCP members will focus on electing a new board of directors. And over the next 2 days, party members will also vote on nearly 80 pages of suggested changes to the party and its platform. Michael King, Global News.
Edmonton Mayor Don Iverson met with the Prime Minister in our nation's capital on Friday. This is Iverson's third meeting with the Liberals this week. The mayor says Edmontonians are interested in a closer working relationship with the feds, despite talk of Western separatism.
I think there is anger, but I think that anger comes from anxiety and fear about economic uncertainty. And I think this is why we need a strategic partnership through initiatives like the West Task Force, where local government leaders can bring solutions forward to the federal government and provincial governments. And ideally, all three of us can work together.
Iverson also says Justin Trudeau assured him the government intends to go ahead with the Trans Mountain pipeline expansion. The woman accused in the death of a toddler found outside a North Edmonton church has been found not guilty of second-degree murder. Tasha Mack was, however, found guilty of manslaughter in the death of her boyfriend's son, 19-month-old Anthony Rain. The judge said Mack had a legal obligation to seek medical care for the boy and failed to do so. Rain's body was found badly bruised and covered with a blanket outside a North Edmonton church. An autopsy found he died from severe head trauma. Mack's boyfriend Joey Cryer was the toddler's biological father. They were both charged with second-degree murder. Cryer's trial is ongoing with closing arguments scheduled for December 6th. Bill Peters and the Calgary Flames have parted ways. It comes after serious allegations of racism and physical abuse came to light this week. And for many, his resignation came as no surprise.